Anna Richards, take 11.
I'm Anna Richards, number 31, Black Fern, and this is my trophy cabinet. These are my college rifles, a Thunderbird dog tags. It's my club side. I was lucky enough to start the Thunderbirds team in 1996 with a wonderful Black Fern, also called Tracy Lemon, and we started up the women's team there, and it's a team dear to my heart. Got dog tags because College Rifles is a military-based club and it's very steeped in history with a lot of our members giving their lives overseas in a lot of conflicts. And I am Thunderbird number 2. Number 1 is Tracy Lemon. I think once we became established and we started off really well, the first 3 years we had a team, we won the club competition in Auckland, and we were able to get a second team which we named the Falcons. And we loved playing at Rifles because the club was very, very supportive of women's rugby, which was not the case all over the country. And because it was so steeped in history, you know, military history, we decided the name Thunderbirds, we picked that name in Falcons, and we decided we needed dog tags, principally just to create a legacy and to give people a number, but we also used it as something that you had to have at all times, obviously, and if you don't have it, then you have to do something silly or drink, you know how it goes. So it was kind of something that really signified that you were a Thunderbird and proud of it. So this is my 50th game Pounamu for Auckland Storm. I was lucky enough to play for the Auckland Storm for 20 years, and during a period when the Storm was a very good side, and I've got a lot of friends from that era. During the time that I played for Auckland, they didn't celebrate things like your first game, your 10th game, your 20th game, etc. You know, so when I came back from overseas and I started working for Auckland Rugby, I decided it was really, really important to try and celebrate some of the things that had gone on. So I bought in a first game coin for your first players, a 5th game cardigan, 20th game blazer, and a 50th game Pounamu, a 75th game frame jersey from your game, and a 100th game big statue. And I think it's really, really important to celebrate milestones in a player's life because they've put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into it. And so I'm really, really proud that I was able to bring this in, and I'm very proud to be able to have one myself. So these are a couple of my World Cup medals. I'm lucky enough to have 4. The first one I won in '98, I gave to my mum, so it's down at my mum and dad's place. This is the second one. It actually looks like a gold medal because it's gold. This from Barcelona. That was a great one. My 2006 medal, funnily enough, I lent to the NZAU to show off at a capping ceremony in 2018. I'm yet to get it back, along with jerseys and photos. So I probably would have been able to show you those today, but the NZAU have got them. And this is my 2010 World Cup. Kind of looks like a silver medal, but it's a goldie. It's a little bit tarnished because I used to take it around the country for Duffy Books and Homes, and the kids love getting their little paws on it, and I loved being able to do that. This was my last one. Probably one of my more favourite World Cups. Kind of knew it was going to be my last, so I was able to really appreciate and just soak in the whole thing. Don't get them out too often, but very privileged to be able to show you them. A couple of memorable World Cups I was able to go to was 2006 World Cup, probably one of the most fun World Cups I've been to. It was in Edmonton, which we called Deadmonton, because there wasn't really much happening there apart from the mall, which is crazy big. We had a really good team culture that year. Coaches were great. Coaches wanted us to play what was in front of us and he had faith in us to throw the ball around, so we played a very expansive game, which is always fun. I wasn't such a fan of kicking the ball much, you know, I like running it, and I had great forwards and backs around. 210, for me, I was called into the team a week and a half before we went. So I hadn't made the team the year before, and I figured I'd give it one last shot, and then I could look myself in the eye and say I tried. And I didn't think I was going to make the World Cup, but I trained really well, and through injury I was called in, and I happened to play in every game, started 4 of the 5 games and was lucky enough to play the final. It is probably the World Cup that was the closest in score, but on the field it didn't feel that close. So it never felt like England threatened us per se, apart from when the ref marched us and they got their try, and also the ref binned 3 of us, me included, my first and only ever yellow card, so why not go big, have it in a World Cup final. I was very happy about that. She was an Aussie ref, I've got nothing more to say. So this is my Black Ferns cap. The NZRU brought in capping in 2018, and the very first capping event was for the girls involved in the 1998 World Cup, and the whole team was capped at that ceremony and a few others. And so it was kind of like this massive reunion, so you can imagine it was a very good night. And I've got to say the New Zealand Rugby Union did an awesome event. But this thing here, it looks kind of crazy on you. It's got your name on it, Anna Richards. It's got my Black Ferns number 31, and it's got the game that they said was my initial game, which was New Zealand versus Canada in Cardiff at the 91 World Cup. Funnily enough, side story, it wasn't my first game for New Zealand. My very first game for New Zealand was in 1990, and I had 3 games. So my first game was against the Netherlands in good old Ashburton in 1990, but those 3 games that year are not seen as games by the NZRU. So, there it is, and wonderful to get it. It's wonderful now they give it to the players the day of their first game, and they really acknowledge them after that. But it's a great tradition they've got now, and it's something that I think's been done very, very well by the New Zealand Rugby Union. My very first game for the Black Ferns was against the Netherlands in 1990 in Ashburton, and it's one of the few test matches my mum and dad came and watched me, because we didn't play many test matches in Auckland. It was a big one for me to have them there. Back then you didn't get to keep your jerseys or anything like that. That week we played, I think I played 6 games that week, 3 test matches and 2 games for Auckland. So it was a pretty packed week, probably running out in the black jersey for the first time, and you can ask anybody, it's kind of goes really quickly, you can't remember too much, but there's this massive feeling of pride and I suppose accomplishment, because a lot goes into it. When I was in the Black Ferns and we didn't have capping or stuff like that, for your first game, after the game we'd get together as a team and you'd stand up and you'd talk about the day and what it meant to you and your feelings and just the occasion. But now, to signify the occasion, they get a cap as well, so that's kind of cool. So I think it's awesome. So this is my lapel pin for being a inductee into the World Rugby Hall of Fame. I was lucky enough to be inducted with 5 other women. We were the first women to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I am Hall of Fame inductee number 84. I probably need to get tattoos of all these numbers, I suppose. I don't know, I'm just a little girl, so I'm not sure if they fit. Huge honour, and the girls, I was inducted with Carol Isherwood, Jill Burns, Jean Crawford, Farah Palmer, and there was a French girl, which I can't remember, oops. To start with, they didn't really tell me I was going to be inducted. They would just ask me to come up to London to talk at some sort of event, and I was like, I don't really like talking, to be honest. Other people say I do, but I don't. And then they told me I was going to be on a panel talking about mental skills, which we never did that at Black Ferns when I played. So I was like, I'm not quite sure how that's going to fit. And then they slipped in that I was going to be inducted. It's pretty cool. You go up there, and I've been able to go up to Rugby, because that's where the Hall of Fame was based, I think, before COVID. and going to rugby school and the Hall of Fame, and it's just a massive honour, and some of the guys I was inducted with at the time were very cool. So huge honour, a little bit surprised, but good to see now that more and more women are being inducted into the Hall of Fame. We've got a good contingent of girls in there now. Our latest one was Fia'au Whamasili, got the last one, Huriana Manuel, Farah Palmer, and I. So there's some great girls involved in the Hall of Fame now. So this is my member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, which I got, I think, in 2005. Again, it's something you need to be nominated for, and it's all a big secret. And I was lucky enough to have my mum and dad come to the ceremony where I received this. It's for services to rugby, and that when they acknowledged me then, I was wondering, are they asking me to retire? I wasn't so sure, but I continued on for a few more years. But again, something like this is a huge honour, and although it's a team sport, I kind of was like, I'm going to accept it on behalf of the team, because I wouldn't be anywhere without my team. So very grateful for this. Good again to see lots more rugby girls being acknowledged by New Zealand government for just some of the wonderful things they've done here and abroad. So this little puppy is the Laurie O'Reilly Memorial Trophy. And Laurie O'Reilly was my very first rugby coach. A wonderful guy, rugby brain to the roof. His daughter was my first ever captain. The first time we played for this trophy was in '98 over in Sydney, and it was after the '98 World Cup, and it was the first time we played as the Black Ferns, because we obviously named ourselves after the '98 World Cup when we had this poll with the public. And we went into that, and the NZRU, in their wisdom, decided, how do we put Black Ferns on a jersey? Well, let's put a grey strip on the jersey, and so we can have it in black, the Black Ferns. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, that only happened once. Now it's all in black, thank goodness. Hard to drink out of because the lip's quite wide, but you just got to be careful, eh? But yeah, it's the first time we ever played Australia was in '94, and we played them at '94, '95, '96, '97, '98, and then it kind of fell away. But now it's every year with this, so great trophy to remember Laurie. He started the very first New Zealand women's team with Jack Karifi, who some might know as Duplessis Karifi's dad. Jack Karifi is a legend in Taranaki and in New Zealand and the islands, a great man. So he and Laurie started the first team and coached it, and we have a lot to thank for those guys.